This is the deep sea, and this is how far down it actually goes. If you took every building you've ever seen, every city you've ever walked through, and stacked them all on top of each other, you still wouldn't have reached the bottom. So let's start at the surface, because everything you think you know about the ocean only applies to the very top. 0 to 100 meters, the sunlit zone. Now this is the part of the ocean we're all familiar with. Sunlight still reaches here, water is blue, fish look normal. Now this is where the coral reefs live. Schools of fish, sea turtles, sharks that look like sharks, and if humans lived underwater, this would be civilization. Plants can still grow here, photosynthesis still works, the ocean still follows rules we recognize. But here's the thing, this zone makes up less than 5% of the entire ocean. Everything below this point is already drifting away from the world we understand, and we're just getting started. At 100 to 200 meters, the light starts to die. At around 100 meters down, sunlight begins to weaken. The colors disappear one by one. The reds go first, then orange, then yellow, and by the time you reach 200 meters, everything is blue or black. Fish down here start losing color, not because it looks cool, but because color is useless when no one can see it. Some species develop larger eyes, others start giving up on vision entirely. This is where the ocean quietly tells you something very important. Sight is no longer needed as the most important sense, and that's when things start changing fast. 200 to 500 meters below the twilight zone. Welcome to the twilight zone. No sunlight reaches this depth directly, only faint traces drift down from above. This is where the ocean starts to feel wrong. Fish here have massive eyes, or reflective ones, or no eyes at all. Many creatures turn transparent, not to hide in the shadows, but to disappear completely. And this is where we first see bioluminescence, living light, not decoration, not beauty, but light used as a weapon, as bait, as camouflage. Some fish dangle glowing lures in front of their mouths, while others flash patterns to confuse predators. Some emit light from their bellies to erase their shadow from below. Nothing down here looks symmetrical, balanced, or comfortable. This zone alone is taller than most skyscrapers, and we're still not even halfway down the CN Tower. At 500 meters, we now reach the CN Tower comparison. So let's pause for scale. The CN Tower is about 553 meters tall. If you dropped it straight into the ocean, the top would still barely be brushing the twilight zone, and below it, darkness, pressure, and silence. From 500 to 1,000 meters, the midnight zone begins. At 500 meters, sunlight is gone completely. This is called the midnight zone, which is permanent darkness. The pressure here is about over 50 times what you feel at sea level. Bones become liabilities, air-filled organs are dangerous, hard shells crack. Creatures here are soft, stretchy, gelatinous. Now some fish have mouths larger than their own bodies. Others have expandable stomachs, because meals are rare and you eat whatever you can find. Eyes become useless, smell, vibration, and electrical signals take over. Everything does move slowly, not because it's lazy, but because energy is precious. This is where the normal officially ends. Now at 1,000 to 1,500 meters, pressure really takes control. At 1,000 meters, pressure is crushing. A human submarine hull begins to struggle here. If a human body were to be exposed at this depth, it wouldn't implode dramatically like in the movies, but it would collapse quietly, instantaneously. Creatures here don't fight the pressure, they become the pressure. No air pockets, no rigid shapes, no wasted structure. Many animals down here don't even have a defined shape. They pulse, they drift, and they stretch. Some don't even look alive. And yet, this is still not that deep. At 2,000 meters, you've now passed 4 CN towers stacked on top of each other. No sound, no light, no landmarks. The ocean floor is still far below. Creatures here rarely encounter anything else, so when they do, they need to react instantly. That's why teeth are oversized, why jaws are unhinged, why reactions look violent. There's no room for hesitation. Everything down here is either starving or hunting. From 2,000 to 4,000 meters, you've now entered the abyss. Now this is the abyssal zone, where most of the ocean actually lives. A flat, endless plain of sediment broken by trenches, vents, and nothingness. Temperatures hover just above freezing, and food arrives as falling debris. Dead plankton, waste, entire whale carcasses drifting down like gifts. And when a whale falls here, it becomes an ecosystem for decades. Entire communities survive on a single corpse. Life doesn't thrive here, it endures. And at 4,000 to 6,000 meters, this is where humans shouldn't exist. Now at this depth, pressure exceeds 400 times the atmospheric pressure. Now this is where most exploration stops. Submersibles creak, metal bends, glass thickens. Creatures here are very pale, fragile looking, and almost unfinished. Many have no eyes, some have no mouths. Others absorb nutrients directly through their skin. Evolution down here isn't about improvement, it's about survival and at the absolute limit of physics. At 6,000 to 11,000 meters, you've now entered the trenches. This is the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench. Now if you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak wouldn't break the surface. Creatures here live under pressures that would shatter steel, and yet they exist. Snailfish, amphipods, life forms that shouldn't be possible. No light, no warmth, no movement. Just life refusing to stop. Why nothing looks normal down here? It's because this world was never shaped for us. Our brains expect light, gravity, symmetry, familiar motion. The deep sea offers none of that. Everything evolved under rules we never experienced. Darkness isn't scary down there. It's normal. Pressure isn't deadly. It's home. The deep sea doesn't look alien. It looks correct for a world without humans, and that's what makes it unsettling. The deeper you go, the less the ocean follows the rules we understand. Creatures adapt to pressure, darkness, and isolation in ways that feel completely unnatural. Not because they're monsters, but because this world was never designed for us. So the next time you imagine monsters from another planet, remember this: they might already be here, just waiting beneath the surface.